So don't make the naive assumption that you know your community just because you know what it looks like from the street. Many church planners that I know have simply driven through communities, they've seen things that intrigue them, and they express a sense of burden or call to that community just because of the things they've observed out of their car windows, or the things that they've picked up on the internet by doing a little trolling around to try to learn about a community. That is not enough data to go on when you're trying to decide if this community needs me to come and plant a new church, if I'm the right person for that. And it's just not enough data to go on. So I want to give you a few tips and hints that will help you accomplish this threshold of making sure that you've adequately gotten to know the community that you're attempting to work in. So a couple things you can do. Number one, you definitely want to do some demographic research. We live in a time and a day where for just a few dollars on the internet, you can go and get demographic data about virtually any community in North America. You can find out who lives in that community from their racial profile, from their socioeconomic bracket or status. You can find out the average income of a household. You can find out the average number of people that live in a household. All those pieces of information are important to help you paint a picture in general of what you think the community is. But in every community, even though we'll have a general picture of what it's like, there are many sort of subcategories also inside every community. So the demographic data is not enough. You have to go deeper into the community, into the various neighborhoods and pockets of the community, and you have to actually walk in neighborhoods and talk to people on playgrounds and interact with people in their workplaces to find out what types of people live here. If you begin to encounter the same type of person over and over, and you ask yourself the question, does that person actually live in this community, or do they just work here? Do they travel here in from the outside? That's important information for you to pick up on as you're considering planting a church. So doing the demographic research is really important, but going a layer deeper, getting out of your car, walking into the communities, doing some surveying and collecting some data from real people that actually live in those communities is another important feature. The last thing I really want to encourage you to do is to talk to some people who have lived in that community for a long time and play a role in the civic powers that be in that community. Because often the civic authorities and leaders have a vantage point that the average citizen doesn't have. So if you were to talk to a police officer or a police chief or a firefighter or a social services director in any community, you would learn things about the community that are somewhat general in nature that the average citizen might not know, but that are not as general as the sort of information you would find on demographic research on the internet. So all of those pieces are important to paint a picture for you of a profile of this community and the various types of people that live, work, and recreate in that community that you're seeking to reach with the gospel. So let me encourage you to spend an adequate portion of your time at this stage of the church planting journey getting to know your community and understanding your community.